Imagine being a slave, forced to live a life that is not your own, with no control over your destiny. This was the reality of Epictetus, a former slave who lived in ancient Rome. Yet, despite being born into bondage, Epictetus rose above his circumstances to become one of the most influential philosophers in history. His teachings on freedom and control are just as relevant today as they were back then. So, let's ask ourselves, what is freedom, really? Is it the ability to do whatever we want, whenever we want? Or is it something more profound? Epictetus would argue that true freedom lies not in external circumstances, but in our internal state. It's the ability to choose how we respond to life's challenges, to let go of what's outside of our control, and to focus on what truly matters. As we explore Epictetus' lessons on freedom and control, we'll discover that this concept is not just a philosophical idea, but a practical guide for living a more authentic, meaningful, and fulfilling life. Epictetus' story is a testament to the human spirit's capacity for resilience, adaptability, and transformation. Born into slavery, he was owned by a wealthy Roman named Epictetus, who was a secretary to the Roman Emperor Nero. Despite his circumstances, Epictetus managed to receive an education and eventually gained his freedom. He went on to become a prominent philosopher, attracting students from all over the Roman Empire. Epictetus' teachings were not just theoretical, they were rooted in his own experiences as a slave and a free man. He knew what it meant to be trapped and to be free, and he shared his insights with others to help them find their own path to liberation. One of Epictetus' most famous lessons on freedom and control is found in his Discourses, where he writes, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This idea is beautifully illustrated in a story about a musician who was performing in front of a large audience. As he began to play, a group of people in the back of the room started making fun of him, laughing and jeering. The musician, however, remained calm and focused, continuing to play with passion and dedication. When the performance was over, someone asked him how he managed to maintain his composure despite the distractions. The musician replied, "I was not playing for those people, I was playing for myself." This story highlights the importance of internal freedom, which is the ability to choose how we respond to external events. When we focus on what's within our control, we become less reactive to external stimuli and more proactive in shaping our own lives. Epictetus would argue that this is the key to true freedom, not being controlled by external circumstances, but being in control of our own thoughts, emotions, and actions. As he said, "No person is free who is not master of himself." This idea is just as relevant today as it was back then. We all face challenges and distractions in our lives, from social media and technology to relationships and work. But it's how we respond to these challenges that determines our level of freedom and control. Do we let external events dictate our mood and behavior, or do we choose to focus on what's within our power to control? Another deep insight from Epictetus is the idea that our perceptions shape our reality. He believed that we have the power to choose how we see the world and the events that unfold in our lives. This is not to say that we can control everything that happens to us, but rather that we can control how we interpret and respond to those events. For example, imagine being stuck in a traffic jam on your way to work. You could see this as a frustrating and annoying experience, or you could view it as an opportunity to relax, listen to music, or enjoy the scenery. The choice is yours. Epictetus would argue that our perceptions are like a filter that colors our experiences and shapes our reality. When we choose to see the world in a positive and empowering way, we become more resilient, adaptable, and free. This idea is especially relevant in today's world, where we're constantly bombarded with information and stimuli. By being mindful of our perceptions and choosing to focus on what's within our control, we can break free from the constraints of external circumstances and live a more authentic, meaningful, and fulfilling life. As Epictetus said, it's not the events that disturb men, but their own opinions about those events. This idea is a powerful reminder that our freedom and control are not just determined by external circumstances, but by our internal state and the choices we make every day. So, how can we apply Epictetus' lessons on freedom and control to our lives today? One practical approach is to focus on what's within our power to control and let go of what's outside of our control. This means being mindful of our thoughts, emotions, and actions, and choosing to focus on what truly matters. It also means being aware of our perceptions and choosing to see the world in a positive and empowering way. Another approach is to practice self-reflection and self-awareness, recognizing our own strengths, weaknesses, and areas for improvement. By doing so, we can gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us, and make more informed choices about how we want to live our lives. As Epictetus said, "You are not your body, you are not your mind. You are the user of your body and your mind." This idea is a powerful reminder that we have the power to choose how we live our lives and to create the reality we desire. By taking control of our internal state and focusing on what's within our power to control, we can break free from the constraints of external circumstances and live a more authentic, meaningful, and fulfilling life. In conclusion, Epictetus' lessons on freedom and control are a powerful reminder that true freedom lies not in external circumstances, but in our internal state. By choosing to focus on what's within our power to control, letting go of what's outside of our control, and being mindful of our perceptions, we can break free from the constraints of external circumstances and live a more authentic, meaningful, and fulfilling life. If you found this video inspiring and informative, please subscribe to our channel for more Stoic wisdom and insights. Join our community of like-minded individuals who are committed to living a more intentional, purposeful, and fulfilling life. And remember, as Epictetus said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. Let's strive to achieve that freedom, not just in our external circumstances, but in our internal state, and live a life that truly reflects our values, passions, and aspirations.